Hello, Alex O'Neill.
Mike, I'm
Are,
here.
that's right. Are you ready to go into the infinite with Halo? Actually, we can't. Actually, the infinite's already ended.
I guess it's over. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
reached the
already.
end of the Halo.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, Jesus, it did blow up.
Yeah, it's way down there in the depths of space. We're in Halo. We're on the Halo. The Halo Infinite. Can we see where the? Yeah, it's kind of.
The,
It's like there's a cloud in the way. Yay! See, look, we're on a Halo.
the Zeta Halo, correct?
The
Is that it?
Zeta Halo. That's correct. That's the Halo we're on. Let me tell you, it's unlike any other Halo, as this campaign would tell you. Um,
Right,
cause
because
yeah,
you spend more than 2 missions there, you know?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is Halo Infinite. I'm playing it here. I'm on the Xbox Series S, so it's not going to be the highest quality Halo out there. But it's fine because this is going to be an internet video anyway. You're not going to see the full quality anyway on a YouTube video. But I thought, as I think it's safe to say, in terms of everybody on our team, on the IP team, I think I'm the only one who's like played a lot of Halo and kind of had the appreciation of it growing up. I know you said you never really played much of it growing
Yeah,
up.
I played them every 1 through 4 relatively recently, like 4 years ago for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh, and I enjoyed my time. It's like very much not my thing.
Right. Yeah. And I think it definitely helps that like it's like Halo had its time and place. Those original
Yeah.
games. They were very much an era of the first person shooter, single player campaigns, and then there's some multiplayer there too, and there's a little bit of this is them. I feel like with Halo Infinite, them really trying to sort of keep what makes Halo first person shooting combat there, but also try and implement like modern like video gamey stuff, where as in a big chunk of this game is just an open world. I'm in a map and there's an open world I can see. There's some icons on a map.
No,
Uh,
the icons.
yep, there's some. I went to this fob. There's a bunch of enemies at this fob, and I defeated the enemies, and then I took it, and then it made a fast travel point that I can go to, and it also
Mm,
put all these other icons on my map. So there you
got it.
go, open world video game in this Halo, um, and it's here. Oh, there's a banished guy yelling from that base over there.
Oh,
Um,
his voice carries.
yeah, for sure. It's pretty wild. So you can see there's a bunch of things. This is actually our main story mission that we're gonna go to the tower. Um, and this game is like a weird setup. So I will say I've actually completed hate I've Infinite. I've beaten it already, but it has a weird structure because it's not like other Halo games where you can kind of like once you beat a campaign mission, quote unquote, you can't just be like I want to select this mission and just go replay it because those campaign missions are kind of in this open world and like they're kind of segmented. Some of this open world is like weird, is like segmented, so it's not like a fully open world. So I can zoom out here. Like it's not like right now I can go to any of some of these areas. You can see there's kind of like big splits
Hmm.
in the area. Like some of these I can't really go to right now, but you do go to a lot of this like throughout the campaign. Like once you hit a story mission, it's like okay, I go into this section here once I get to the certain part in the story, and then from then on I can though go freely come back here. So it's kind of weird like that. Um, but other than that, it's like a lot of open world trappings, and then you go to these main quests, and then it becomes more like a Halo single player campaign mission. And like they're kind of like closed off little missions that you go and do. You do some Halo, you go shoot some stuff, and that's you do the Halo. And there's a whole story going on. Like it's I'm the story is very weirdly told in I think like a way that like I don't know if I fully am on board with, but I at least appreciate them doing like something weird
Sure.
because I don't think if you've not played Halo 5 and like the weird direction the second 4 and 5 Halo start of the trilogy kind of started that storyline of like oh the Forerunners were here and like Cortana's like slowly losing control and going rampant and kind of going crazy. And then like in Halo 5, she goes full crazy and like starts like taking the AIs of humanity and sort of pitting them against humanity to try and make this perfect world. And she's like taken over the Forerunner technology and weapons to try and do that. And that's like where Halo 5 ends, is like she is now become like the villain, and like Master Chief is like, oh shit, and like all the other Spartans that show up and kind of suck are also there. And like that's like that, like they kind of leave it on that ending kind of hanger. And this game just kind of picks up and completely like from the get-go like doesn't even really recognize any of that stuff. Like this
Sure.
game literally just opens with like a cutscene of like Master Chief getting his ass kicked by one of these brutes that we're gonna be fighting, which is this new group of brutes called the Banished. And they're kind of doing their own thing, and you just kind of get the shit kicked out of you in this cutscene as Master Chief. And then it cuts to like a lot of the stuff they've shown where it's like the pilot in the Pelican ship, and he finds Chief out in space and he rescues him. And now you've come back down to this Halo because like you were like kind of floating in space outside this Halo. Like months later after that event of you like getting beaten up in this spaceship, and now you're just kind of on the Halo trying to figure stuff out. So like that's
Where's
all.
Cortana? You know, like what's gonna happen?
Where's Cortana? Like what has happened? And they do get into some of that. I think like this opening bit, I won't get into that, but I kind of do want to talk spoilers just because I've beaten it today, and there is a lot of like they do get into like what actually happened, and some of it's weird, but some of it's weird, some of it's interesting, and like it just feels this just like a weird game. It really, from a campaign perspective, like I will say like there are people who are like way into the multiplayer side of Halo. And this, you know, from all intents and purposes, I've seen people who are really into that, like, really like the multiplayer of this game.
Sure.
I will say I'm less. I think back in the day when I was younger, I was definitely one of those people. But I think nowadays, as a 32-year-old adult, I care way less about PvP in video games, and I want like a cool, like, story. And I think this game does an okay job with some of that stuff, but it's weird.
It's worth knowing, any fans of the channel, you get that guy, know that both of us are also huge Destiny fans. So we're huge Bungie fans, and like I am like a Mayweather Bungie fan. Like I'm late to the party.
Sure.
So I don't have the love for Halo, but I do love their games, and especially their current game. But they're also a little bit, you know, like they're different flavors of the same kind of thing.
Right.
So I think that's where some crossover and stuff can happen. When we want that kind of PvP, maybe we could just go to Destiny and things like that, where we're more comfortable. Also, that crate that you went up to earlier said kinetic ammo, and I was like, oh, whoa, what?
Yes.
Where am I?
Yeah, like that's something new for this game, is like they've kind of like put the guns in ammo types because it is an open world game, and like you can't, like, there's, you know, I think it was more of a conceit to like kind of help you know, it being open, that you can kind of like, you know, have your weapons at all times that you like, you know what I mean? So like, you know, there isn't just like, you know, if I like using this battle rifle a lot and I just kind of run into ammos, and like in previous Halo games, like it was just kind of done and I had to just use the weapons I could use in these environments, where I feel like they had to make like a little bit of a
challenge factor.
Yeah, like a balance factor of like, all right, you know, these are basically just ammo crates for weapon types. So like usually like a kinetic weapon is usually generally like a human marine weapon, and then there's like explosive, which is this rocket launcher, and then there's like plasma and other weapon like ammo types essentially. Also I can do this.
That's still very good.
Yeah, the grappling hook. The grappling hook is like easily the best thing like that's like added to this game. I pretty much like have pretty much used it my entire playthrough, and like there's other like equipable things you get, like equipment type things where you get like a little sensor you can like ping on the ground, and it'll kind of like, you know, pulse in this area, and that will like reveal, like, it's mainly used for like, you know, if you have invisible enemies and they're around, you can kind of shoot one of those and it'll kind of reveal them in the area. And like that one's like much more situational, where like the grapple hook I can just kind of use like, you know, way more freely. There's some other ones too where you can put down like a little like barrier shield, and there's like a little like thruster, kind of like from like, you know, from the Doom game, recent Doom games. It's similar to that, where you can kind of like, you know, use a little thruster to get around. Oh, there's a tank in that building. That's interesting. So let's see. This is just kind of like a general open worldy type, like, here's like, it's just like a big outpost type deals, where it's like I have to destroy these silos. So I think I got to go up to these buttons here. There we go, and that'll put these silos up, and then I got to destroy them. And then when I destroy this,
your big hands to destroy the
yeah,
silo.
I'm just gonna throw that barrel at it. Suck it.
That worked.
Yep. And I think when you destroy one of these, a bunch of enemies show up. Or maybe not in this, because this is like an early one, since I'm pretty early. I like restarted, and this is pretty early on in the game. But usually, like, when you get later, like, there's more of these, but they will like escalate a bit more, where it'll be like, oh, I destroy one of those, and a bunch of drop ships will come in, and like there'll be more dudes to fight, and they'll be more active about trying to like hunt the Master Chief down. Because that's kind of been the conceit, is like that, you know, there's from when the game kind of, you see the first cutscene of the game, and from when you're on this open world, like a couple, like I think it's like 6 or 7 months have passed. So like you know, you've kind of been out for a little bit, and so like you kind of show up, and all the people are just like, oh shit, the Master Chief is still alive. What do we fucking do? Panic. And that's kind of a conceit of like the early game, is just like, he's back. We gotta fight him. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's some dudes coming down.
Does it feel like with the story that so you were talking about earlier, maybe we can have like a spoiler spare all the way at the end.
Yes,
but, yeah. Does it feel like they realized people were upset at them and decided to just do something different?
It's a mix of, it's 100% a mix of both. It's a mix of like, well, sure, clearly we want to tell a thing because people weren't fully on board with that, but we also don't want to completely forget it. So it is a little bit, it's a little bit of both. And in terms of, especially like, a lot of this game is kind of like setting up, you know, what I would presume to be like either some kind of DLC content update for this game, or like another game, like a sequel style thing. There's definitely a setup for like a new set of games, but I just don't know what that'll be, because they've said like Halo Infinite is like a thing they'll like update over time. So I don't know if it'll be like there will be like a Halo Infinite Year 2 with an expansion or what. I don't know what form that'll take, but they definitely set stuff up for like a future game, and they also are like leave some questions unanswered to those new things. Like they start talking about this other evil race, you know, and other that you know were that like predated all these other evil alien races that you fought before, and now it's
of course.
And you know, there's stuff like that in here, but they also a lot of the stuff from the previous games, a lot of it is just told to you in like audio logs that you like collect around the world. There's a lot of stuff like that where it's just like, I pick up this audio log, oh, and it's this dude you were talking to in Halo 5, and you know, what's he up to during these months that you kind of been out and on the Halo ring and stuff. And
what's Nathan Fillion been doing since he was a Halo man?
Yeah, there's definitely like some of the stuff of just like where these characters and things started to go, and they're just kind of told, they just kind of give you an audio log, and kind of that gives you some stuff. But some of the bigger things, like, they kind of just don't really tell you a lot until like the very end of the game. Like, it feels very weird, because like it's you kind of get like the opening kind of setup, then like a lot of the middle parts of the game are you just like running around this open world, and then there's like I want to say like 3 or 4 like final missions you kind of go back to back on at the end, and they just kind of give you like a big story dump of just like, here's everything that's gonna here's what the actual things that happened and why you have, why Cortana presumably is missing, and she maybe is not in the thing anymore, and like to the point where like people talking about she might be just dead already, and like they go into that. They go into like the pilot character also has like some like subplot story stuff where you learn more about him and the dude he is.
Does he have a name?
He does, but you could say it's a spoiler, but I don't really think it is because they just
everyone just refers to him as the pilot.
The pilot, because that's what they do. Because like again, I guess this I will, I guess maybe it's a spoiler. I don't really know.
Didn't know this guy's name.
Yes, I didn't know who this. Like they literally again, what's like one of those things like the last 4 story missions are part of the end of the game is like literally like.
Learning the pilot's
yeah,
name.
Master Chief, and like I have another AI lady that's with me for this game. We'll probably see.
Cortana.
Yeah, she's here, and she's referred to as Weapon for most of the game, and there's like a reason for that. And then literally like the last cutscene is like you coming back, and then you like you find the pilot comes and picks you up in a Pelican. And like him and Master Chief are in the cockpit, and he just goes like, we never got your name. If we're gonna keep like adventuring together, you should tell us our name. He just goes, oh, it's Esperanza, and then it just, and it's like I don't know if that's like a person that's in the Halo universe. I don't remember that from anybody. Like I don't know. They give him a name.
It's good to just have a name for that guy,
Yeah.
In the subtitles, I remember it referred to him as pilot. I'm like, this is disrespectful.
Yeah, they just refer to him as pilot for a lot of this game, and the same with like you can see like here's the AI lady talking. She's just referred to as Weapon for most of the game, and there's spoiler stuff with that, that we can get into once I get out of it. I'll do this little story mission here. After we clear out this base. Actually, I should probably just get in this tank, shouldn't I?
This other guy's got dunked on.
Okay, I have to go over here.
I mean, it was clearly very important to follow up Halo Wars 2. We had to know what happened.
yeah, like maybe that dude is like a family member of some person from that. I have no idea, honestly.
Sure, yeah, maybe that's the tie-in.
Like, or because I'm pretty sure that was not like a name of any of like the big people that were from like the early Halo games or like even 4 and 5, because I played those recently.
I mean, he wouldn't be alive, right? There was so many years between 3 and 4. I thought that.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah. How do you get in this? Oh, yeah, here it is. I gotta go up here, I think maybe. Yeah, here we go. I gotta shoot this thing. That should open up that door.
See, that's kind of neat.
Let me grab one of these. Suck it.
Definitely got dunked on.
Yep. Yeah. That's definitely like, I will say, like, all the issues aside after the story, this game is like super fun to play. I think I had a lot of fun playing it in the moment gameplay.
Yeah.
Like it feels good and like reminiscent of Halo games, but also like the new stuff they've added, like this grapple hook, and a lot of the new weapons that are in this game are like just like fun to use. And like I think they've done a very good job of making like a fun yet new feeling like Halo sandbox.
Yeah, this does look great.
Of like weapons and abilities and like new gadgets to mess around with. Outside of that though, like I think the story has definitely been hit or miss for me overall. But there we go. I cleared out this base. It's just like that's like a side activity you can do in this world. There's some other stuff like I'll go get the Spartan core real quick, because this is basically like your kind of like skill points more or less.
I forgot that there was like a skill tree in this.
Yeah, because you do get like abilities and stuff, and you can upgrade your like your health or your shields. Oh, this dude's over here.
That's cool.
You can upgrade that. You can upgrade your you can upgrade your grappling hook and all the other like little Spartan abilities you get. Let's grab this Spartan core. Yeah, I'll go over. Oh, there's
the
dude, hold on.
menu.
It's the dude shooting at me. Hold on. Get out of here.
Damn. Headshot.
Yeah, so you can see you have a couple upgrades here. Oh, jeez, of course, there's no dude. I'll just grab this. This gives me I get a quicker cooldown on my grapple shot, so that's useful. So got that.
Trading grapple shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll just recharge a little faster. I think. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty nice. Yeah, you can see you can just kind of freely use it and just kind of just shoot around. It's kind of fun.
I want to see a Halo game that is like that just goes full Metroid Prime. I feel like that would also be a cool direction for the series.
Yeah.
Slightly tighter world, but it's more about exploration and upgrades to progress.
100%. I found a random I found a Marine over here. You can find people around here sometimes. But
It'll drive the Warthog for you, right?
Yeah, but all these Warthogs are destroyed. It looks like. Oh, this dude's rest in peace. Dead. Yeah, and like usually when you clear out these like those little fobs I was talking about, they'll have some dudes at them once you go there. There's also like squads, like that's another one of like the side objective-y things you can go do. Is like this is like a captured squad of Marines. You can go save them if you want, and if you do, they'll hang out with you for a bit, and you can go do stuff. But let's go. I'll go get this core, and then let's just go to this main quest here.
Yeah.
As we run around the world here.
Do you think that it all kind of meshes together, the quests and then the open world, or is it just kind of serviceable?
I would say I would definitely put it more in serviceable for me, in terms of like the game. It's like, again, I said like the core, just like gameplay and shooting and stuff, and the sandboxy feel of it feels good, and that's enough for me personally to like I was playing through all of it, but like. It definitely feels weird that like there's things like, you know, when I go to this big tower, that's where like the story quest is. You do the story quest, and like it's like basically feels like a Halo story campaign mission, and then it's just like there's no way to like replay that on its own or do any other things that are like pretty usual to Halo games. There's just a dumb tower I can destroy.
Propaganda tower.
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of the open world stuff like is definitely just like serviceable and fine, because it's pretty standard open world stuff, like as you've seen. Like it's just a base you can clear out, like, you know, you can unlock some fast travel points with these fobs. You know, there's little collectibles, like these are like your upgrade skills. These are like cosmetic unlocks for multiplayer. These are like high value targets. So this is just like a little sort of boss dude. Like he'll have like a name and like shield and health and everything. And when you beat him, you get like a special variant of one of the Halo weapons.
Do they drop like 10 motes?
No motes. Just like a sick like legendary version where it has cooler perks. You know what I mean?
That's cool. That is neat. But I kind of like that. You know, like for me at least, I'm super over like the open world map full of checkpoints of things on the checklist to get done that are all the same over and over again. Like
and this
Ghost of Tsushima, like is too much shit for me to do.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I definitely feel you on that. And this game, hey, this game is kind of that. You know, it's that, but then there are like these moments where you get to go do like a fun Halo like single player campaign mission.
It seems like there's less bullshit on the map, being my point.
Yeah. There is less bullshit, I would say, but it is a lot of the same. Like when you get to a new part, like there will be one of those bases we did, or there will be some fast travel points, or it's kind of is all the same stuff. Like it doesn't really vary in that regard.
I appreciate it leaning into like, this is the Halo stuff that you'd want to do, though. You'd want to fight people in kind of open spaces for bases and do those kind of single player missions. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like and they infuse that with like the nice, like here's like Halo weapons, you know, like I have a freaking battle rifle and I have a beam sword, and they feel as good as they've always felt in Halo. But
it's not better. That's what I've heard. That this game feels better than 5 did.
Yeah, it feels better than 5 for sure, because they definitely like kind of reeled it in and kind of went back to like how they just kind of were in those old trilogy games. Like the battle rifle just feels like it's right out of those games, and I've definitely used it a lot, and it feels good. But there's a lot of new weapons too. Like I'll see if we'll probably find some in here. But some of them don't show up till later in the game. We'll probably find some like because a lot of the we fight a lot more brutes and like the banished and their ranks. So there's a lot of new weapons in their kind of kit they're actually pretty fun. Like this is like a little pistol.
Is the spear gun a new weapon?
Yeah, like the big spear shot. Yes, that is a new gun. That one's pretty fun.
Okay.
It's basically just like the equivalent of like a rocket launcher, and it feels pretty good to use and it's fun.
I don't know if this is a spoiler, but are the Forerunner guns from 4 and 5 in this at all?
No. So there are Forerunner guns in the game, but they are not the same as the
ones from before.
The ones from before, yes.
I actually really like those guns. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, some of them were interesting. The ones in this game are actually pretty neat too.
Okay, that's good.
But they are like they act very differently from this. There's also a new type of guns that I really like. We'll see if I find one. But they're like electricity based, and they're like called shock weapons. And those ones are pretty fun because you can like. There's like one that's kind of like more like almost like a scout rifle kind of equivalent. And it has a kind of like a timing based like charge shot. And if you do it properly into like a group of enemies, it'll like do like a little shock chain between enemies, and they'll get like stunned and shocked in place.
That is kind of sick.
Yeah, they're really fun to use. I like those a lot.
And it's worth bringing up because a lot of people have been critical of this. I'll say like sitting here watching you play this, I can tell like of all the Halo games, this would be the one I'd have the most fun like co-oping with someone.
Yeah,
it's not an option.
Yeah, it's not an option yet. I definitely have felt that too. Of like, because when I played through it, I played it on heroic, and there were definitely times this actual area in particular, and like some of like the open story missions definitely felt like, man, this would be a lot more obtainable or just a lot more fun if there was even just one more person I was doing this with.
Yeah,
because it could get rough. You could definitely get overwhelmed by a lot of enemies on that higher difficulties and stuff. So there you go. I just hit that barrel that shocked him.
It's like this make me think of Metal Gear Solid 5 a lot. And another thought I had with that is like, oh wow, this would be really funny or fun with co-op as well. But then they did Metal Gear Survive, and it's like, all right, this is
maybe not.
Maybe not actually. But this especially, like the idea of kind of approaching from any direction with some friends would be, I think, really cool.
Yeah.
It might make it a lot easier, but I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, I definitely think it would make it easier, but I think it would make it fun.
Yes,
for sure. Let's keep doing this. That was the evil dude in the tower telling us about, don't come to my tower, Master Chief, or
Master Chief, you suck.
It's gonna try and save these dudes over here. There we go. Oh, I'm getting sniped at, I think. Yes, some snipers somewhere. One's up there. Try and get up there. Oh, nope.
Damn. Killed by the mantle.
Yeah, I know, right?
This grappling hook this is a good addition.
Yeah, and some of the upgrades are cool where it's just like, you've seen I've already like you can kind of grapple, hit an enemy and like lunge yourself to him, and there's like an upgrade that makes it so like when you hit him with it, it like stuns them. There you go, I already have it.
Oh, that's really cool.
And it just stuns them, and you can just like smack them in the face.
Doing that to brutes, I imagine, is very fun.
Yeah, it definitely feels really good. I don't see any enemies around here. I'll just check this then.
It is cool how like, the core of everything is the same, but there's like a ton of very little new things.
Yes,
and they add up in a surprising way.
Yeah, and they're new things that like feel good, because I definitely know they've like tried to do new things in the past with like the new trilogy games, and not all of them always worked. Like I think like some of those new Forerunner weapons, I agree, were like fun, but I think some of the actual new enemies you fought were like less fun and like not that interesting. Where I feel like this one is like you're mostly fighting the same kind of enemies you fought in a lot of previous Halos, but there's like some new variants on it. Like later in the game, there's like some brutes that were like not in the original games that like they have them like where they charge and run at you and have a bunch of armor on them, and they like varied up instead of like being in a gunfight. They're like running at you, so you kind of have to like keep your distance from them and get out of their way and stuff. And it's interesting. Sure. And
Makes
some
me
of
think of that throne room fight in Halo 2.
yeah,
With the Arbiter, where those two big armored guys. Yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
yeah.
That's cool.
It's mostly that new stuff. All right, I think now the enemies are cleared. I gotta turn this on. I think. All right, let's go over here.
Find a way to end the lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I gotta go press some buttons and all that.
Let's find a way in.
Oh, I think I
This
found the
game-
way in.
I'll say like this is the most. I'm surprised to even say this because again I have not played this at all. This is the most I've wanted to play Halo by watching you play this. Like
Yeah,
the
sure.
the way that you're kind of like moving around a kind of base and these little insides have like different things you can go do and different enemies. Like I like that kind of stuff. Actually.
Yeah, for sure. I think they blended the like sandboxiness of the Halos in an open world very well. Of just like
I
you
mean-
said, there's like here's this environment, there's a group of enemies in it. Now just use the weapons you got to like figure out the best way through, or take different approaches at it.
Before I was into Halo, that's what everyone would tell me. It's like, oh, like the fights are so much wider and more interesting. And that's true, but this just feels like the natural
Yeah.
extension of that,
Yeah, because now it's just a full-on open world for sure. This is like a shotgun, but it's like this is not like the shotguns in the previous game.
Yeah, this is the combat shotgun.
Okay,
right?
here's a new gun that I really like, the Ravager. So it's like so you have your normal shot, which is like a 3-shot burst. Here's the chasey dudes who will just run up
Oh,
on you.
boy.
Yeah, they will just run up on you. Yep, get out of here. We got him though. I have a bunch of dudes help me out. The other cool thing about this one is I'll just do it to show it off. Is you can hold it and charge it, and then it'll just make like a big goo pile that burns
Nice.
enemies when they're in it, which is pretty fun. But even just like the 3-shot is pretty effective. So that's
cool.
that's a new one that I really like. Let's see what's over here real quick if there's any ammo for anything.
And it feels like a weapon that a brute would carry around.
Yeah, for sure. It's not the one thing I will say is like all the brute weapons feel good, and they did get rid of like the one bad brute weapon from the original Halo games, which is like a really bad grenade launcher. I don't know if you remember that
yeah.
one, the
I
brute
do.
shot. That one's
Yeah.
not in the game anymore, and
Yeah.
I don't miss it.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, that thing was never a good weapon in Halo, in my opinion. All right, we got a bunch of dudes here. Let's back off.
The Forerunner gun that I liked a lot was the sniper rifle. I really liked. I liked the
Right.
scope on it a lot.
Yeah, it was cool looking. Okay, got these guys.
I think there was like an SMG that was cool. Now, does this take energy ammo?
Yeah, it takes plasma.
Plasma, okay.
So I have to go find a plasma thing somewhere. Okay, here's the
I
button we gotta hit.
appreciate never letting the battle rifle out of your sight.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Very consistent.
I pretty much always keep a battle rifle when I can in Halo games because it's my best feeling weapon in my opinion.
Yeah.
So okay, we
It's definitely
opened
up
up the
there.
vent. I don't know if more enemies come or I think we can just go in here. I don't think there's another button we gotta hit out here. Yeah, I think we can just. Oh no, it's not on yet. Never mind. I lied. Okay, there it goes. Now it's
Let's
open
just
up.
open it up, Takes a minute.
Yeah, it takes some time. It's a big lift. Alright, so now we're in the tower. Here's another equipment piece.
Okay. Mjolnir.
Yeah, suit upgrade.
Sensing. Okay, is this that ping you were talking about?
Yeah, this is the little ping you get.
Do we find out what happened to Spartan Locke, the most beloved Halo character?
There is some audio logs talking about Spartan Locke, yes.
Of course.
I didn't get the one that tells you his full story, but there's definitely I got like one or two there where it's like him he's actually talking in the audio logs and everything, but you don't. I didn't get much further beyond those just because the audio logs are kind of strewn out everywhere. You can just kind of find them.
Is this the downfall of modern video games, Mike? Is it that we close up all our stories and audio logs in future
Ye-
installments?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or like check out this DLC in a few months when we talk about more about this sort of stuff. Hey, here's another one of these dudes.
Shotgun seems good. Design.
Yeah, the shotgun's pretty good. I will say I'm just on normal now, so it's not as bad as playing on heroic.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, there's definitely some rough spots in heroic. Let's grab this guy. And honestly, this part you're supposed to be kind of like throwing. You can like throw the sensor on here. I'll switch to it real quick.
Specializes in torture.
Just use it so you can like shoot it over there. And see, it'll kind of
Okay,
ping around.
That's kind of neat. That kind of reminds me of like the Division. There's like that one thing that you get in that pings
Yeah.
people. It's got a full sprint.
Yeah, those dudes will just run at you.
I imagine if you upgrade that sensor, it has like a bigger area and all
Yeah,
that.
it has a bigger area. You get like multiple You can get multiple charges of it,
Cool.
and you can get like one, and also ones that like show like a health bar over the enemies and stuff too.
I will say, like, because we're in the mission now, right? Like, I like that transition that we just kind of went into it.
Yeah, like you just kind of go into it. I will say not every single mission is like that.
I'm sure there's loading screens.
Yeah,
here
like
and there.
yeah, there is some not necessarily loading screens, but it's definitely like I will say what's a good way to compare it to Final Fantasy 15. weird callback. But like how that game, towards the end, it just kind of went like into like you're kind of just going from thing to thing rather than like traversing a world.
Now. Yeah.
The later parts of this game kind of do get into that also, where it's just like you're just kind of going from mission to mission. You just get into a back of a pelican, and then you're like taken to the next mission, more or less. That's like the last couple of missions of the game in this.
Sure. That kind of makes sense to me for a Halo. It made less sense in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
but yeah.
totally. So let's take out these dorks. All right,
This
is
red
out.
though.
Yeah, this is a good.
Time to
looking
switch
place.
to Needler.
Yeah, I guess this is a new gun too. This is a disruptor. This is like another like shock electric weapon.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Yeah, there's needlers. Those are there. Like the little plasma pistols you can charge up and shoot stuff are there. Let's see which way we're going over here. Looks
I've
like.
always hated that plasma pistol. I've never gotten
Yeah,
it to feel good.
yeah. It's just kind of fine. Oh, is this I think this is another core here. Cool. Let's grab that. And then core. I'm cored up. I think there's like a stairwell I should be able to go up somewhere around here. All right, maybe I gotta open one up.
The ping
here we
that
go.
you have is separate from the little detector thing.
Yeah, like there's like a down ping that kind of like gives you like kind of your objective markers, and then the other one's just like a more like for like enemy, like detecting enemies and stuff. Yeah. I kind of talked over the story mission, but the whole thing is here as we were going to. There's a Spartan that was trapped and captured in here.
Got it. Those two helmet we saw and all that.
Yeah, so we're going to save him more or less.
Unknown.
Let's head in.
I assume these are like the new age Spartans that they were making in like Halo 5.
Yep.
Not like cheap.
Master Chief.
Look at this guy.
It is
Yep,
where you
it's his tower.
will be broken. It is where you will give up your secrets.
So this is like sort of a proper boss.
Yeah.
So let's see. So you can see he goes invisible. So kind of the whole conceit is you just got that threat sensor to use. But first I'm gonna do this. See, and then I can see. There you go. Now you can kind of see him.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Probably a little bit of a heavier duty weapon around here. Yeah. Here we go. Here's a Ravager. Oh yeah. He's doing his sword thing. Let's look out for that.
Yeah, that's definitely shooting him harder.
Yeah. And yeah, with the D-pad is how you swap the things, because you can't have like, because it's basically like you have the grapple shot or like that little threat detector equipped as well.
It's cool that you can swap between them. I thought you would have to drop them and get them again.
No, yeah, you can just with the D-pads you can swap. The same with like grenades too. Like you can just kind of throw grenades and they'll automatically switch, or you can hit the D-pads and kind of quickly swap.
That's cool.
I have actually this is a new grenade, these shock ones. So you can see it kind of sticks to him, and there we go. I got stunned him.
Oh, that's
Boom.
he's
Got
dead.
him. Yep. Save our Spartan buddy.
We need to get him out of that machine.
So that other target that you were looking at on the map, he would drop like a special sword, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That is cool.
Working on
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay. Be ready. I'm going
Oh,
to cut him
we're out of the
loose.
helmet.
Yeah, he like ripped all his armor off of him.
I just meant like we're behind the back on Chief now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're alive. Chief, the banished. I tried to stop them. I tried to.
Easy. You're safe now.
The banished. They.
Like the most compassion I've ever seen Master Chief.
I know, right?
That's all I know. It's picked up north of here. Dig site. I couldn't stop them.
You can.
But you can.
Yep.
You
Of
Gotta
course.
go to the dig site.
Consider it done.
Consider it done.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. There's some good. I will say, they lean more into like the Master Chief just being like a one-liner like hero guy more than ever in this game, and I think they do all right by that.
That's good. Yeah, I think that works for him.
Yeah,
He doesn't need to be talking a whole bunch, you know?
exactly. Which I definitely think was the thing in like Halo 4 and 5 where he's like
Yeah.
he's talking a lot and giving a lot of exposition, where it's more of he just kind of comes in with a one-liner when he's got to go shoot stuff, and then the other characters are kind of giving more of the story. So yeah, here's the AI lady.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I was saying maybe notice some similarities to some other character, huh?
Yeah, it's the same voice actress too, so it's like I don't know how you're supposed to make me feel about this.
Yeah, exactly.
A dig site on the ring? This conservatory must be some sort of Forerunner installation. What do you suppose they're after?
It's time to go.
I guess he got like the upgrade, so he doesn't have to put the chip in the back of his head every time. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. He just like puts his hand on a panel and she like kind of just appears
Zooms
in him
back.
again. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
That's a cool mission. I liked how
Yeah.
it transitioned to it. and
It
everything,
it is cool that like it's kind of like the give and take, because like, see, now I can just jump down and I'm back in the open world, but like I can't ever like there's no easy way to just go back and play that, you know, which was
Yeah.
like a thing in Halo games previously, and if and in this case it feels all right, but there are definitely other story missions, like even there's two opening kind of story missions you do before you get like dropped into the open world. And like their icons are like here. I think I gotta scroll up here somewhere. Like, yeah, here you go. Their icons are here. Like there's Outpost Tremonius was one of them, and then there's like, this warship I was on, and other things, or like in like the first opening missions or so, and like they're on the map, which is weird. But I can't just go play this somehow.
Yeah, it's one of those like
It's a little
current
weird.
identity versus past identity thing. Like that's just always been a thing you can do in Halo. So
Exactly.
it not being here,
It feels
even if
a little weird, but
yeah, it feels weird.
Um,
But that's the thing. That Halo's a live service game now, so it'll be there in patch 1.03.
yeah, exactly. Come back when campaign co-op is here, and then you can replay story missions and all that stuff too. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that does come down the line. For sure, you're definitely right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can just now we're just back in the open world. We can just kind of go around and continue on, and you can see it will lead us to our next kind of there's the more fobs we can go get. There's and then our next story mission is this big site over here. We'll run to this fob real quick and just show that off, getting one of those things.
Now that we've kind of shown off. Is this where we want to talk about spoilers? 'Cause,
Yeah.
I don't care, so I want to
Yeah.
hear what's going on.
Yeah. So honestly, what we could actually do, now that I'm thinking about it, I can end this game
And jump into your
into my
finished
finished, which I think will just kind of let us loose into the open world. Yeah. See here, it just says it says finish the fight. So you can see there's
Of course.
my 14, because that's basically just the now it's an open world and you can just run around. Can I change? I can change the difficulty now too. That's nice. So I'll jump that down to normal. You can see there's the completion time as about 15 hours, and that's with me like going around and collecting a bunch of stuff, but not necessarily everything. And
That's not bad.
so yeah, it's not too bad. It's not like a super long game, but there's still more you could do if you want to.
If
So
you're
yeah,
if
so
you
I'm
are
in the open
watching and
world.
do not want to be spoiled, you can
Yes.
go ahead and
Yeah, go
drop
ahead.
that like and tune out now. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out as always. Checking out our content, much appreciated.
Much appreciated.
But yeah, let's. I'm in the end. I'm in the end here. Or
We're in the end game now.
you can see I've kind of gone around. Now here's some icons, baby. Look at this.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I got some icons. A lot of grayed out icons, as you can see. Yeah. So, where to start?
Yeah, tell me about this.
Basically, okay, I'll give you a big story breakdown and like kind of the things that we're setting up. So obviously we noticed that your AI lady looks very similar to the previous AI lady you had, correct?
Yeah.
It turns out. So in the few final missions
If you're
of
about
this
to
game,
tell me that she's just Cortana, I'm about to lose my mind.
well, be prepared to sort of lose your mind, Alex O'Neill, because she basically, in the 6 months, because like I said, the game opens up and there's this cutscene of like Master Chief getting beat up by like the big bad boss of the Banished. His name's Atriox.
Yeah.
You get like your ass kicked by him, and he literally like grabs you by the neck and throws you out of space, like he throws you out into space in this cutscene, and then the whole ship you're on explodes. And like while you're going around this Halo ring, you will find like ruins of that ship to do stuff on, which is neat. But basically, you find out within those 6 months, Atriox basically has teamed up with this forerunner like lady who's like, she's sort of a forerunner, I think, but because she's like a weird squid looking lady who's actually voiced by Deborah Wilson, who's going to be voicing the Witch Queen, so it's really weird.
That is funny.
She like, hey, I'm happy she's getting paid, but it was just really weird when she showed
She's
up.
double dipping.
Yeah, and then she's like playing this weird evil like space villain creature, and basically they're trying the Atriox basically got led on by this alien lady who has found out that this is like a special Halo ring that's unlike any other Halo ring, and it was used to seal off these things called the Endless. And now the Endless are, at least from what they don't go into details in this, and that seems like that's the thing they're setting up for Halo Infinite 2 or Halo Infinite Expansion 2 or whatever, where they're basically like the new, like, this is the ancient evil that we have awoken alien race that we now have to go fight. They see, because like they're talking, because there's like, voice lines or things where it's like, man, these like, why were the Forerunners hiding these? These were even worse than the Flood and the original Halo games. Oh no! Like, the line is literally in this game. Like, that's like what they're setting up.
This is like the Lambent from Gears of War. Like,
Yes.
this is exactly what we're doing.
Yes, it's literally 100% like that storyline, sci-fi storyline of we're opening another ancient evil that's literally been every Halo trilogy.
But they're so much worse.
But now they're
than
worse.
Our ancient evil.
Exactly,
Acts,
they're worse than the last two we've had to fought all over again.
Yeah.
So basically, when Cortana is like, she starts off, like, and you see a bunch of this in like flashbacks and story missions, or you're playing through a story mission, and all of a sudden this like ethereal like version of a Cortana and Atriox will be talking to each other, and like, you basically find out that like Atriox brought her like whole scheme of like bringing all of the AIs together down, more or less. Somehow they don't really explain that too deeply of how that happened, but she basically, her plan falls through of doing all of that, which was like the big setup for Halo at the end of Halo 5. She like starts on that crusade, and like she literally destroys like some, I think it's like the Brute home planet, or at least where Atriox's home planet or something. I don't know if it's the whole Brute home planet, and that starts their whole battle. But the battle then ends in Atriox like stopping her plan with the help of this Harbinger alien lady, which then led to the Harbinger lady like starting this thing to awaken the Endless, or potentially awakening them, and that's basically kind of where the game cliffhanger and ends. But again, going back to the Cortana being the new AI lady basically thing, her plot to stop Atriox before she gets taken out is to basically wipe herself into the new AI that is the weapon. So like she basically wipes herself of thinking she's Cortana, and she's not technically Cortana, but also she is just Cortana because she has all the same protocols and the power that Cortana does, where she can like interact with all the Forerunner structures and all these things and do all these things.
But she cures her rampancy just like that.
Yeah, somehow she just that's not explained at all, but somehow she just, I guess, like, since she technically sacrifices herself to reset her into this new AI that's just gone or something, I guess. They don't really give a reasoning for that. At least in the main story, maybe there's some freaking audio log that says that. I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, they start hinting at some of that stuff in like bits and pieces in the story as you lead up, but it's literally like there's like 3 or 4 missions that just go back to back at the end, and it just dumps all of this on you of just like, oh, this is who this squid lady is who showed up earlier briefly. This is why Atrax was doing this. This is like who the AI really is, and and then like this is like, oh, they were trying to seal away this enemy this whole time, and maybe this enemy's gonna show up later. I don't know. You know, it's just all at once, and it's super weird.
Yeah. Do you think that like now that the bandages have been ripped off, like from here, Halo can be in a good place?
There's definitely a possibility. Like I'm still generally curious of like this, whatever this new threat will be, because if they can make like a cool new interesting enemy type 2 fight in this sandbox, like I would definitely be down for it. I definitely kind of hope they like vary up some gameplay aspects. Like I hope it's not just like, if it is the thing where there's just going to be an expansion 2 later next year or whenever, it's not just like, oh, you just put a whole new section here.
Yeah, like, are we
and
just
now
gonna hang on the state of Halo forever now?
Yeah. And are we just going to go over here and it's like, oh, there just turns out there was this banished camp hanging out over here, and you're just going to clear these all out again? Like, I don't know what they do with that kind of stuff, so I kind of do hope it's like, if it is just going to be expansion content dealing out, I hope they do feel a little bit different, or maybe they just focus more on story stuff and less on the open world stuff there too. I don't know.
Sure. I guess like this Halo is like the thing that would awaken those slumbering evil, so in theory there's a reason to still be here, but
yeah. So yeah, I really don't know what they're going with all that. Also, yeah, this was where one of the story missions, you can clearly tell, is it's like a big tower. I can't really do anything here anymore. I think it just dropped me at one of the random FOBs. What are some things we got?
Any like really cool location that's in the end of the game or anything like that, or is it?
There's some different areas, like, you know, I appreciated this area over here, which you go to at one point, which we'll just go to over here real quick.
Ninja Theory. That's very weird.
Yeah, they have a lot of those weird loading screen names.
It's just also another Microsoft studio, so it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if we can see these from a good angle. I just gotta run around and, I mean, there's one you can kind of see over there, but like this area, the kind of the big conceit was like you like are dropped in and you have to go to these 3 big spires to activate this thing so you can go to the next story mission. And like I appreciate it because like those are like the classic Halo ass, like, you know, when you were playing Halo 1 and you had those big spires you go to save them, it's like it's literally just those, like they're set up exactly the same, and you actually like go into them and like do stuff. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fun and cool, and like, you know, these spires are here on those Halos too, and like there is that carry over in some of the architecture of the Halos from previous games.
Cool.
And I appreciated those callbacks there.
Any other like upgrades, like end game upgrades that
I think I didn't get a lot of those like unique weapons. As somebody, I think, in a Banshee flying around. Yeah,
you got like the grapple hook and the ping. Is there anything?
Yeah, I got the grappling hook. I got there's like a little shield I can throw down, which I honestly didn't really use that much of. This is like the fully upgraded ones. It's like a big shield. Sure. And when I shoot through it, it makes my like bullets do like shock damage and stuff, which is neat.
That's cool.
Hold on. Oh, I'm not on my grappling hook. I could have grappled to that Banshee. And then I think I was earlier where you have like a little like kind of like Doom thrusters where you can like boost around.
Ooh, cool.
which those are neat. They have like a little bit of a cooldown on them.
That's still really cool.
Yeah, but they're cool. Here. Oh, they blew it up. I was wanted to grapple onto it, but that's fine. But yeah, I have more of these upgraded so I can like, you know, if you notice, I don't know if you necessarily noticed, but there's like, as you get more of these, you're getting this experience called Valor, and that lets you like get more stuff. So you can see I have like a bunch of variants for weapons. So I have like a variant of these assault rifles and a battle rifle, and like there's a bunch of these variants for weapons. And here's some of, like I can pull out some of the later weapons too.
And
Like
those are like the rare versions that you could get from special enemies.
The human weapons you have to like get via the Valor. Like I think it's actually, where does it show that? Maybe fob here. Yeah, you can see like here's that's the last variant I have is literally just getting like a rocket warthog. You can see like here's a bunch of variants of these where it's just like tuned for different combat. You know, improved rockets.
What's the battle rifle do?
Let's see. It says with improved stopping power to tune. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't actually tried the better, but this I picked up here was like kind of the electricity rifle I was talking about earlier. But this is like a variant version of that one on top of it that I got from one of those like high value battles. And once you get it, yeah, you can go back to these little things and just get a new one because you can't really get like ammo for them necessarily as easily as some of the other weapons.
I like that stuff though. Like that's definitely something I thought was lacking in Halo games before.
And you can see here's like some this is somewhat of a spoilery weapon, but you know here's a special bladed version of this.
Sick.
It's got like a big like battle axe on the front. I don't know if I can grab another weapon and see it on the ground or not. No, it doesn't have the battle axe thing.
Yeah, it goes away.
But that was from like you fight. There's like another brute big bad that you fight later in the game, and he has it. And once you beat him, you can just pick it up off him, and now you have it.
That's cool.
You know, and it's pretty. It's pretty powerful compared to the other one.
It's a big AOE.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Let's see what else I can grab. I can grab that new. I never actually tried out the newer battle rifle.
Yeah, that's it.
What? Something in my teeth?
It's got some sick yellow paint on it. There you go.
Yeah. I like
And I'll get the other. I'll get the shock rifle again because I like this thing. Variant of that. Way back here. Yeah, there we go. Purging shock rifle. And let's go. We can go shoot some stuff real quick and just show them off. Here's one of these dudes up here. I'll just go over to this. He has a special rocket launcher. That could be interesting. Let's go over here. See if you can still kind of grapple around.
Yeah, just getting around quickly is so nice.
Yeah, and you can totally like if you want to like from those fobs, I could have just grabbed like a warthog or something too, and like went off. But sometimes, honestly, I just kind of have always preferred like kind of jumping around here,
Flinging yourself from place to place.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I just like the shit I see in multiplayer videos of just like blowing up a banshee and then grappling onto it as it's flying
and
away
just leaping
to
off.
get to the other team. Like that's so cool.
Okay.
I love that. It's so Breath of the Wild in a weird way.
Yeah, totally. I think we have to go around here, which is all right. Or maybe I can like sort of like Skyrim up this mountain over here.
We're gonna find out. Yeah, being able to upgrade the cooldown is also smart. Honestly, the most grappling hook it is the Dying Light one, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like basically a hook shot.
Some dead dudes with swords already here.
Super dead.
Yeah, this got messed up by somebody. Oh, it's an invisible dude. That's cool. Here, I'll use this a little bit. Oh, got him.
That guy's super dead.
Yep. Let's get this. Let's start Skyrimming up this mountain here. Maybe I can. Yep, there we go. Yep.
Perfection.
Yep. Let's get the Zeratus guy wherever he's at.
Unpleasant. Taking him down would buy the UNSC more time on this ring.
I'll use this thing a little bit. So let's see.
Is it like a single shot, or is
it's a single shot. So I'll show it off. So you can see like if you saw like it's a little tough to see, but like on the reticle there's that little circle that like kind of pings off it.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah.
So like when it does that, once it does that little ping, You have like a see. I get the shock. I get a full shock stun on an enemy.
Yeah.
Where
that's
otherwise
cool.
it's just like a quick kind of shot. Which is pretty fun. See, there's a shock ammo thing, so I can get some ammo for that, which is nice. Appreciate that's here. Oh, you can see these dudes have like little actual energy shields on them.
More of them.
Oh
cheese.
yeah, there's more dudes coming in.
It's cool.
Oh, this dude's flying around. Okay.
Oh, yeah, got like a jetpack.
Yeah. Alright.
Kind of like a pulse rifle because it shoots 5 shots.
Yeah. Alright. Shock that guy. Get him down. Somebody put like an electric thing near me. Okay, it's gone. Alright, he's low health now. Oh, ouch, that hurt. He has. I know he has.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a rocket launcher. That's probably
Yeah.
why.
That definitely hurt.
Let's see. Let's try and take out some of these fodder enemy. Okay, this is definitely. Yeah, it's definitely hits a little harder.
Definitely does more damage.
Definitely
for sure.
hits harder than the normal battlefield, which is nice for sure. Just gonna throw some.
And it says it like did more damage close range. So you probably do
Oh, ouch, that hurt.
blunt executions.
There's a shock grenade. Oh, dang, he flew off before I could get it on him.
It's so weird seeing like an enemy with a health bar in Halo.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm into it, but
It does feel a little weird. Does this stick his head? I think I did get him.
I think you did get him.
Alright,
If
perfect.
not, you morally destroyed him.
Yeah, seriously. I just gotta clear out these enemies. And there we go. So special rocket launcher here.
That's the
Oh, it's
end.
tracker. It says tracker on it. It says by a tracking rocket. That's cool.
Nickname, Die
That is
with him.
cool.
We're
There
thinning
you
out
go.
the numbers of banished elite on this ring. Keep it up.
Thinning them out. So yeah, I unlocked a new weapon variant so I can go to that fob. But yeah,
Okay.
Halo
Yeah, you
Infinite.
did it.
So yeah, now it just
Yeah.
goes to the fob. We did it.
That's that's Halo Infinite.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's I do enjoy a lot. There are plenty of aspects of it. I just think like the story just gets so weird, and like
Sure.
it feels like they kind of rushed the 4 and 5 story to just kind of get on to a new thing. Which I think some people are totally fine with that, but I think like it still just feels a little weird.
Doesn't help this game for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't help this game. But I am curious to see like once they kind of it gets more into its own little story with whatever the endless and whatever the weird stuff ends up being. Like I'm curious where it goes and also how they like and just like technically like how they are like gonna update this game. Like will it be expansions in some way or will it be obviously like the multiplayer is like a typical like seasons but I don't know if it's just gonna be like in a year from now, are we gonna get like Halo Infinite Year 2, and that's gonna be the next
Halo the
start?
Taken King. Yeah.
Yeah, like how that'll work exactly. So, but yeah, Halo Infinite, it's an alright time.
I'm glad it's finally out. It's been a while. It's been a long
I'm glad
time
it's out.
coming.
Yeah, definitely, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad.
Glad it's fun.
I'm glad. Yeah, like they definitely, took that extra time they took with the delay to like definitely polish it up. There's definitely some like nice noticeable things, even with like some weird like the weird feeling of it being like open world and not open world sometimes. But then there's like a lot of other nice stuff like a lot of voiceover work and like
Seems polished.
it
Too,
looks polished. It looks very nice. Even here on my Series S, I'm sure on an X, some of these areas would look much cooler, and you can probably see a lot further in distances and stuff, and that'll be definitely worth checking out. And yeah,
Get
there's
that 120 hertz mode on Series X too, which
Yeah.
is cool.
you get those cool old Halo towers, just some old Halo stuff. They use a lot of the original ass Halo music in this game to some good effect. I will say there's some good moments. With them just like busting out those old Marty O'Donnell Halo tunes and being like, okay, yeah, sure, just throw this in here. That's fun. I haven't heard that in a while in a Halo game. But yeah, Halo Infinite.
It's fun. It's like back to basics, but also incorporating a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, and trying to incorporate some new things for sure. But yeah, thanks Alex for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thanks for showing it off, Mike.
Yep, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, I thought that was gonna take me out. There we
There you
go.